American history. They are lost episodes of some of the greatest moments in television history. Joel Siegel has found some of the best, and he's taking them on this emotional journey back to where they belong, back to the people who starred in them. Joel?
Greg, this was the idea. Take a show the star hasn't seen in years, and maybe because you really can't watch yourself while you're on live TV, though some of us may try, maybe a show the star has never seen. Pop it into their VCR and watch them watch themselves, and it worked. Let's watch Tony Bennett and Steve Allen tune into Lost and Found TV.
Oh, boy. Wow.
And typical of Tony Bennett, one of the nicest people in the world, what he loved best was other people's work on this classic 1966 TV special.
I know, best drummer in the world, you know. That was some show.
Drummer Buddy Rich, and Bennett got excited remembering the people behind the scenes, even the show's sponsor, who gave him then unlimited money to film what we'd call a music video. Hey, the song might be a hit.
When I come home to you, San Francisco. This is where Dwight was up there on the top of the Golden Gate Bridge. He's shooting down. Amazing. That's the highest point of the bridge. I don't know how he had the nerve to see these shots were being taken with a helicopter following me down the street. They had no expense.
Tony Bennett's one of the first great pop stars who became a star on television. His first show with Rosemary Clooney is Lost. No film, no tape, just memories.
It was a show called Songs for Sale. A pretty clever idea. They had amateur songwriters come in, but it was the beginning of television, so they didn't have cue card guys. So they used to walk out, you know, completely drunk with the cards upside down. And Aikido would say, some Zen would come in and we'd have to make up Moon, June, Spoon, or, you know. But old man River, he just keeps rolling along.
Bennett is a jazz singer. He sings live. TV was live, a perfect match. A kid, he was all over the hit parade, and he was all over the dial.
All of a sudden, I became the Michael Jackson of my day at the time. You know, I had the 1, 7, 10, 9 record, you know, on the Billboard charts, you know, so as hot as you can get. Steve Allen would use me at 10 o'clock to get the rating.
Steve Allen, one of the people who created television. He created the TV talk show because he had to. There was no budget, and Steve Allen loves to talk. This sketch was from an ABC show called The New Steve Allen Show. Did he remember?
As if it were yesterday.
You are the producer of the famous television show The Deportables, is that correct?
It was a pretty typical sketch. We were investigating the terrible state of television. Nothing much has changed.
Well, one way to make TV better, make those comics stick to the script. This is Found TV, one of America's favorite, funniest videos.
I caught sight of myself on the monitor, and then I simply fell into what psychologists call the laughing in church syndrome. Hysterical laughter, which is perpetuated partly because of your sharp awareness that you should not be laughing at all. So to me, that was the funniest. I just laughed like a jerk for about 3 or 4 minutes with 35 million people watching me.
And Allen remembers early appearances with Johnny Carson and Harry Belafonte.
Beatnik. The question is, what is Santa Claus on the day after Christmas?
But we finally stumped the answer man.
Well, Larry, how did you and the lieutenant get along?
Yeah, you know, I had forgotten that show. It was not one of my regular series. It was a special thing called Steve Allen in Hollywood and a Danish, or I don't remember what the title was. But that was Clint Eastwood. That was not long after some agent or executive had told Clint he'd never make it.
Clint did, so did Steve Allen. You can catch Steve Allen in town autographing copies of his new book, The Murder Game. You can catch Tony Bennett in town tomorrow night at the Museum of Television and Radio talking about his career on television. And tomorrow on Eyewitness News, you can catch Dick Cavett watching Dick Cavett watch Groucho Marx. Cavett had never seen this show. He had thought it had been erased. That's tomorrow here on Eyewitness News on Lost and Found TV.
You found some real gems.
Terrific stuff.
Thanks for sharing. And that's Eyewitness
for a live comedy show. Saturday Night Live, 25 years earlier, there was Sid Caesar, Imogene Coca, and Carl Reiner in Your Show of Shows. This comedy threesome would go on to star in numerous hit series, one of which was lost, but has now been found by Joel Siegel. Joel.
Sid Caesar told us this story. Television was just beginning when Pat Weaver, who ran NBC, took him out to lunch. "What do you want?" he said. An hour and a half? Caesar thought he meant for lunch. No, Weaver said, on the air. Sid Caesar picked an hour and a half, and Caesar has copies of that show and every show he's done except for episode 35 of Caesar's Hour and this show. Let's tune in to Lost and Found TV.
All right. Oh, hey, Sid, we're on now. Oh, we're on now?
Cut.
Ladies and... Well, at least let me say hello, ladies and gentlemen.
This was Sid Caesar Invites You. Sid Caesar back with Imogene Coca. It ran for one season, 1958, and because Caesar himself hated to face the camera out of character, the announcer was Hugh Downs.
Imogene Coca as the customer and Sid Caesar as the salesman show us in pantomime what it means for a woman to buy a pair of shoes.
And look at these writers, or look at Carl Reiner, look at these writers.
Neil Simon, Mel Brooks, Mike Stewart, Danny Simon, Larry Gelbart. Wow, that was some group.
Michael Stewart would write Hello, Dolly. Larry Gelbart would create MASH. And Carl Reiner would create the Dick Van Dyke Show and write and direct some of film's funniest comedies.
The writing readers were very competitive people who would fight for their jokes. And if you were wise, you would fight for somebody else's joke if it was really good and it looked like it was getting shot down by somebody who wasn't listening. Basically, all the good jokes got in there. Sid was the arbiter. Sid would say, that's him, that's out.
One of the things Caesar and Reiner did best, parody. In 1958, the fanciest, toniest, highest-browed show on television was Omnibus, hosted by Alistair Cook.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The program is ominous, and my name is Aristotle Cookie.
Oh, this is my favorite thing, ominous instead of omnibus.
Mr. Cookie's guest this evening, jazz great Progress Hornsby, just back from her prestigious State Department tour.
Do you speak French? Yes. Pouvez-vous parler un peu de français avec moi maintenant?
Is that French?
Yes.
Then I meant no.
This particular episode was encyclopedia, had it as an example of American humor in whether it was 59, 58, 57 or 8, because the jokes were brilliant.
Then we went to Australia, which, as you know, was on the flip side of the earth.
And Sid Caesar, who had done this bit once, 35 years ago, and hadn't seen it since, remembered every gag.
I came down with a very, very rare disease. Nobody else has ever had it. I was extremely lucky to get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can give you the rest of this. See, it's a disease where your nose swells up and forms another head, and you find yourself looking at you.
But they finally cured me.
I see. You mean the other head went away?
No, no, no. You're looking at my nose. My head went away. I think I'm pretty good looking for a nose.
This was another sketch on the show. Westerns very big in 58, and Carl Reiner thought he remembered every gag, but he couldn't remember why he sounded so gruff.
Thought you got rid of me, huh, Marshal?
That's right. You were sentenced to be hung for life.
That's right, Marshal. I hung for 7 years.
I was wondering who I was talking about. I don't remember.
They cut me down for good behavior.
That's hysterical. He was hanging for 7 years, and they cut me down for good behavior, and he had a bad throat. Don't remember that. Don't remember that. It's amazing. That is amazing. I said you wouldn't find anything that I don't know about. I don't remember this.
He remembers it now, and we gave him a copy, and unfortunately this ends our series on Lost and Found TV. As much fun as it was to watch the shows we found, it was even more fun to watch the stars watch themselves. And as we reported on Monday, the first Super Bowl is still lost. So is Caesar's Hour number 35, so is Don Larson's Perfect Game, but we will be out looking to find them, so please keep on finding us. Right between number 6 and 8.
That's right. You're exactly right. You worked hard, but I'm glad you found that stuff.
Great fun.
Thank you, Joel. And the weekend has arrived. Go out and enjoy
with your paid subscription.